heat safety, going green at Crave, and the final week of the Wild and Scenic Film Festival. All this and more on this week's edition of Lexington Now. I'm Neil Noah, and this is Lexington Now for the week of August 19th, 2019. After a wet and cool spring, summer heat has definitely arrived in recent weeks. John Bobel of Emergency Management brings us some insight into avoiding the dangers of hot days.
Well, one of the most important things to stay safe in hot weather is to stay hydrated. A lot of people forget that with the heat sometimes comes humidity, and as the humidity increases, it becomes harder to sweat. So your body stops having the optimum ways to lose heat and regulate heat internally. So if you're dehydrated and there's high humidity, your internal temperature can rise to dangerous levels. So the best way to stay hydrated is with water. Alcoholic beverages and caffeinated beverages actually cause you to lose water more quickly. They're what are called diuretics. To stay hydrated, water's always the best thing. Just good old H2O is the best way to stay hydrated. Everybody's heard the weather forecasters talk about the muggies. That's when the temperature's high and the humidity starts to rise. The heat index, in fact, can rise to 105, 110. Now you're getting into the dangerous area. It's not only the heat, it's the humidity. The body loses its ability to regulate temperature, and now you can be into serious trouble. And this is particularly important for the very, very young, the very, very old, and those who may have some sort of chronic illness. Those are the people who need to stay indoors. They need to stay within an air-conditioned environment. You can't stay in a building where there's no air conditioning. The problem there is you start getting into conditions of heat exhaustion. The most severe form of that condition is called heat stroke, where all of a sudden you start losing cognitive ability. You lose the ability to think straight. Your body starts cramping up. There are other physiological symptoms that come from just being too hot. Your internal temperature starts to rise. You lose the ability to sweat. Your skin becomes hot and dry. You look red. You look flushed. You are beginning to die. Your body starts shutting down. Your functions start shutting down, and you're in serious trouble. If you suspect somebody either has heat exhaustion or heat stroke, get them to the hospital. Get them to urgent care. Get them someplace where there's trained medical professionals who can treat the symptoms. Every year throughout the United States, we see cases of people who unintentionally leave young children in cars. It's been approximately 40 deaths this year of children who are left in cars. The internal temperature of a car gets very, very hot very, very quickly. The child's unable to respond to that heat, and they succumb to it. You need to leave something important in the back seat with the child. It's all a reminder that people get rushed, people get in a hurry, and you simply forget. Never ever leave a child in a locked car, not even for a minute.
The 7th annual Crave Music and Food Festival is this weekend at the Bluegrass Fairgrounds, and Live Green Lexington has a message on how to enjoy the festival in an environmentally friendly way.
Crave is a music and food festival featuring over 50 local restaurants and food trucks. Live Green Lex is here to offer a few green tips for when you visit the festival grounds. Here's an easy way to reduce your carbon footprint. Carpool with friends. Be sure to stay hydrated. Clear water bottles are allowed on the fairgrounds, so bring your own reusable bottle. You'll save money and reduce the amount of plastic that goes to the recycling center. Instead of taking paper flyers at booths, take a photo and save it on your phone. You can recycle items at the event, but be sure to recycle right. Plastic bottles, aluminum cans, and cardboard, like empty pizza boxes, can all go into recycling bins. Food wrappers, disposable cups and plates, and napkins must all go in the trash. Bring a reusable bag to hold any purchases. And finally, be sure to visit the Live Green Lexington Kids Tent for games and prizes.
When we come back, it's time to take a look at the final week of the Wild and Scenic Film Festival.
Geocaching is an outdoor activity. It seems simple. You use GPS coordinates to find boxes hidden in secret places around the world, but it may take some puzzle solving to get there. Think of it as an adventure in which you have the task of going out and exploring the world to find hidden treasure. Live Green Lexington has hidden 12 geocaches around the city. Each cache represents a theme about water quality. You will have the chance to learn more about stormwater, pollinator gardens, Reforest the Bluegrass, and the Citizens Environmental Academy. Each hidden cache contains a unique token that you can take and keep. Collect all 12 and you can win a prize. Ready to learn more about the ways we keep our water clean and healthy? Visit lexingtonky.gov/geocaching and start your journey.
Welcome back to Lexington Now. This week is the last opportunity to check out this year's Wild and Scenic Film Festival. Here's more.
So where the film festival is this year, the Wild and Scenic Film Festival is going to be held at the Kentucky Theater on August 22nd, which is a Thursday. And we're going to start at 6:30 with a silent auction, and at 7 o'clock we'll start with the films. And it'll be a great night out. So this is our 4th year for holding the Wild and Scenic Film Festival, and if you've never been before, what you can expect is a whole evening of really wonderful, picturesque short films. We've got 14 films this year, but a lot of them are very short, 30 minutes or less, and it ends up being a couple of hours of really awesome travelogue films, Red Rock Wilderness, bicycling, climbing. Just an exciting night. And then in addition, we've got a silent auction with a lot of local vendors giving charitable donations that you can contribute to. So along with the 14 films that we're going to be featuring and the silent auction, there's also going to be giveaways. So if you come to the event, you're going to have an opportunity to get some free swag. We're going to be giving away some merchandise. We're also giving away things that have been supplied by the national tour sponsors, such as Cliff Bar, Clean Canteen, Peak Design, and Sierra Nevada. They all have contributed to this film festival as it tours around the country. So come on and get some free stuff. Well, the main reason we like doing this event, the main reason it's important to our organization, is we like to get the word out about some of the issues that the films bring up. We've got films about, for example, military people who are addressing PTSD through adventures in the outdoors. We've got films about wildlife corridors, which is an issue that we support, and what's happening in the Everglades, and we'd like to do something similar here in Kentucky with wildlife corridors. So along with the films and the wonderful scenic and visual and fun films that we've got, it also ties to a lot of the issues that Kentucky Conservation is helping to shepherd. So the whole listing of all the films we're showing this year are listed on the Kentucky Conservation Committee website, kyconservation.org. But just to give you a sampling of some of the films that we have, we're going to have some films featuring Utah's Red Rock Wilderness. We're going to have some films featuring the Everglades. We're going to have some awesome climbing films if you're into climbing, and cycling, lots of cycling films. We've got some nature films as far as wildlife, And we also have, for people that are doing nearby nature, we have some films on gardening and growing community gardens. So, and also some really wonderful films about our national parks. And we kick it off with a film about the Red River Gorge and its history. So come on and have a great time and learn about some places you might want to travel to, or just what's in your backyard. So to get more information about the whole event, you can go to Kentucky Conservation Committee's website, which is kyconservation.org. And it's also listed at the Kentucky Theater's ticket website. We'll have information up on there. But if you want the detail of the films, go to the KCC website, Kentucky Conservation, and you'll find out all the films that we're going to be showing.
School is back in session and motorists are still adjusting to the increased traffic. Here's a reminder of what to do, especially around school buses.
If you're out driving and if you see a group of kids and then you see a school bus, you should be prepared to get ready to stop.
That's the advice Marcus Dobbs, in charge of transportation for Fayette County Schools, has for motorists, especially at the start of a new school year.
A lot of times what will happen at the beginning of the school year is oftentimes we'll get calls from parents saying, hey, you've got this bus stop here and it's making me late for work. Well, when school was not in during the summer, we had no bus stops. Now the students are back out to catch the bus, and we sometimes have to suggest to people, maybe you may want to leave 5 minutes earlier so then you pass by that area and you don't end up running into the bus.
Mr. Dobbs cautions drivers to be extra careful in these areas because
there's a procedure that the drivers actually follow, and when they're approaching a stop, they'll hit a button that activates those yellow lights. When they see those yellow lights, they should treat it just like you do a traffic light out. When you see the traffic light change to yellow, you don't eventually say, oh, well, let me speed up. You're supposed to prepare to stop, because although we do tell our students that they should wait until the stop arm comes out, it's easier for us to train the younger students than it is the much older students, because the high school students, they start thinking, well, I know everything what's going on, and so what they'll do, as soon as that yellow light comes out, sometimes they just start walking right across the street.
He tells us that anytime you see a school bus and its flashing lights,
it's very important that whenever they see the stop arm out, that they stop, because you got to keep in mind, we are always transporting most precious cargo, which is students. So whenever that stop arm is out, please wait until the students have crossed and that stop arm is back in before you proceed on.
And while it may seem straightforward what to do on a 2-lane road, rules on 4-lane or divided roads are different.
If we're traveling on Harrisburg Road, where you have 2 lanes going in one direction, 2 lanes going in the other direction, whichever direction the bus is traveling in, when that stop arm comes out, only those individuals that are traveling in the same direction of the bus has to stop in an instance, because then you've got 4 lanes, so then if you've got 2 or more lanes traveling in the same direction, only those individuals have to stop.
Mr. Dobbs has a little advice for school zones.
Naturally, around schools, we have those flashing warning signs. They'll say school zone 25 miles per hour. The school zone is, speed limit is reduced in school zones, and people should just be really careful about, because students are walking along the sidewalks and they're really supposed to wait till they get to where there's a cross guard to cross at a crosswalk. But I'm sure we know students don't always do what they're supposed to do, and so sometimes they'll just run out in the middle of the street.
And although it may be tempting to try to save some time on the road, Mr. Dobbs cautions.
Please just make sure when you see that stop arm out, though, that you do stop, because what our drivers will do is, if they can grab your tag number, then we fill out a form, and unfortunately what happens is then we turn that over to the county attorney's office for prosecution. That can result in a fine and 6 points on your license if you pass a stopped school bus when that stop arm is out. So please don't pass a stopped school bus when that stop arm is out.
In keeping with the theme, Live Green Lexington has some tips for back to school.
The summer break is almost over, and Live Green Lex is offering some back-to-school tips. Tip number 1. Plastic sandwich bags are not recyclable. Pack a lunch in reusable containers, and you'll be surprised how much you cut down on plastic waste. Tip number 2. If your kids walk or bike to school, make sure they wear visible and bright clothing. Be seen. Tip number 3. The city works with Bluegrass Green Source to teach students in Fayette County about waste reduction, energy conservation, and water quality. Encourage them by asking, "What did you learn?" Tip number 4. Summer may be almost over, but kids should still have time to play outside. Take them to Raven Run or McConnell Springs for free events that encourage exploration and learning from the world around them. Be sure to follow Live Green Lex on social media and never miss out on events or volunteer opportunities.
Here's Chris Edwards with our weekly televised meeting schedule. Chris?
Thanks, Neil. The Dog Star Cirrus is in the summer night sky, so that means we're still in the dog days of summer. It's hot out there, so why not stay inside and be cool binging on Lex TV? This week, Lex TV has several government meetings to keep you cool and informed. First, on Tuesday, August 20th, we'll have the Environmental Quality and Public Works Committee meeting. During this meeting, there'll be a presentation updating us on the city's massive stormwater project happening all over Lexington. Following that presentation, we'll hear from Metronet on their progress of building an all-fiber optic network in Lexington. This new modern fiber optic network will serve homes and businesses in Lexington with high-speed internet, cable channel programming, and home telephone. This is a huge step towards making Lexington a gigabit city. Then at 3 p.m. on Tuesday will be the council's work session. Then on Wednesday, August 21st, will be the Urban County Arts and Review Board. During this meeting, we'll learn about Kip2 Taurus project application for Woodland Park. Kip2 Taurus is a Nairobian-born artist who is best known for his large-scale art forms of wood, usually carved with a chainsaw. Then finally, on Thursday at 1:30 p.m. will be the Planning Commission. This week's topics will be about zoning items. Stay inside, be cool, and start your Lex TV binge watching this week. Neil, back to you.
And that will do it for this week. As always, you can keep up with us on social media and check out the latest traffic updates on Twitter at LexRex, or catch our live traffic cams on LexingtonKY.gov. For the staff and producers at Lex TV, I'm Neil Noah, and that's it for now.